This is a Frank podcast.
Hello, kia ora, and welcome to the Extremely Casual Gamers podcast with Ali, Chris, and Guy. We're a casual gaming podcast for the everyday gamer. Everyone's welcome here. And today on the show, Guy, you want to talk about console wars? Is that actually a thing? Do we care anymore?
Yeah. It used to be a huge talking point, but now it's just like, doesn't anyone give a shit?
Yeah, which is Xbox v PlayStation v Nintendo.
Nice.
The PC master race.
Yes, actually, that's a good point.
Nice. All right. And Chris, you want to know if the amount of stealth in gaming is too much right now, or are you not utilising it?
Well, basically, in every single game, there's like, you can fight your way there or you can stealth. And I'm like, no one uses stealth in real life. Are there situations we should be using it? We'll be delving into that a little later on, yeah.
All right. And of course, we've got listener feedback and some gaming news. So we'll jump straight into listener feedback, eh? And I do need to say, the listener feedback this week is just the best it's ever been, I think.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, it's down to that amazing group.
Yeah,
Yes.
just quickly, it's time for listener feedback. And a big shout
Sorry.
out to everyone on the Facebook. I saw Sam, our producer, on the trigger, ready to go, and then like real gutted that
Oh, sorry, Sam.
Yeah.
You were so onto it, and I wasn't. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, so time for listener feedback. I really stitched you up there, sorry. No, I will say this week it's been just extra special because this Facebook group we've made has been more fulfilling and more wholesome than I ever could have thought. What do you guys think?
It's more than what I anticipated that we get reaction wise.
Same.
It's such a wholesome experience. People aren't just writing in and be like, "Hey, what are you guys playing?" It's like genuine. People are putting in so much effort. They're asking thought-provoking questions.
Yeah.
They're talking with each other.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's
It
great.
is.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't like the idea, Guy,
Yeah?
because it was suggested to me at the same time, literally the same day that I have a rugby league podcast.
Yes.
That idea was suggested to me as well. And I was like, yeah, I get it for the rugby league one, but I don't know about the gaming one. And then the gaming one has dominated the rugby league one. We have 10 times the amount of interaction on there. People are putting Guy's face on Ezetoir Auditoir or Ezio Auditore from Asset. Yes.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Someone chucked up a photo of us three edited into an Assassin's Creed like Brotherhood style banner. You're
Oh my
Ezio, by the way.
Yeah, that was Jordan.
He's the good one, eh?
Oh, it was Jordan classic.
Yeah, classic.
And so there's all this awesome like Pokemon based interaction, people organising Mario Kart competitions. It's been excellent.
Yeah.
It's insane. And it's like, first of all, thank you for joining.
Yes.
To those listening who have joined, thank you for joining, but also thank you for being so engaged. Like, I've been blown away by the engagement in this
Yes.
group. Like, I can't even keep up with it. I feel bad. Like, I wish I could reply to everyone, but
Well, you don't. And we'll all be slightly across it, which is really cool. But
Yeah.
the other thing it's done for me, Ellie, is like we don't make money off this podcast, you know?
No.
I wish we made money off this podcast. We
Yeah.
are doing it because we love it. And now I have like names and faces to put to the listeners.
Yeah.
I am like, I've got to keep doing this thing.
yeah, I agree. It's actually
Yeah.
made me go, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm doing
Yes.
it for them. Like, I feel
And
very
yeah.
validated actually by the amount of
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
that are
It's
engaging
been
with
excellent.
us.
So thank you very much. And hopefully we do eventually get paid. But for now, I'll do it for you guys.
And
Yeah.
if you are listening and you've been a listener of the podcast for a while, or if this is your first episode and you're wondering what the hell is the group called, it's called ECG for ECG. You can find us on Facebook. Everyone is welcome.
Nice. All right, well, after saying all that, here's some of the feedback we've got. First of all, I want to shout out Daniel Ryan. Last week we were talking about gaming setups at home. Chris, you were trying to work out if it's tacky, if it
To
can be done
display
well.
your gaming stuff.
Yeah. Daniel Ryan sent in a photo of his little gaming corner, and it's actually quite cool. He's got like obviously the TV, and then up on the wall he's got lightsabers, and he's got
does.
Star Wars. Yeah, you can have a look. You flip that around. He's got a Star Wars poster. He's got some little pop vinyl figures
yeah.
up the wall. So that's very cool.
Solid
cap.
setup.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome setup.
It is an awesome setup, and that's way cooler than anything. I was just trying to display one small Game Boy Advance on my wife's very nice media unit. But that there, I'd kill for something like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. We want to shout out Chris Serene, who, first of all, created the ECG Mario Kart tournament, which
did.
happens
Oh,
every
yeah.
weekend now, obviously for Switch users. And he's also created an ECG Discord server, which is another place we can all chat and also game together. So if you want.
So I think Chris, is that the guy from Utah?
He's the truck
It is
driver.
the truck driver, yeah.
He needs to make his own podcast with your cousin Beck because they would run a vastly superior product to what we're doing.
I agree. I think, Chris has just come in and just absolutely taken over, and I love it. So if you do want to join the Discord, it's going to be in our link tree, which is in our Instagram bio. Our Instagram is Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast. Also, let us know what threads in the Discord you want. So like Chris was asking, like he's got ones for like gaming news. He's got little chat areas. And if you guys have suggestions on like what you want the Discord to have, please let us know because we can add those in. And if you want to play some Mario Kart together every weekend, old Chris has set that up. Blake Dawson also sent a photo in the group. Did you see this of his Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, this is my boy who's on the PlayStation, the Pokemon Buzz, just like I am.
Yeah, do you want to just share what he did?
Remind me.
Oh, he took a photo of his Game Boy and he's put
like
like
the
a
rubber
hair
band?
tie.
I saw this and I was like, now I reckon Chris is going to be way off this because it was like an XP cheat, which I didn't even realize you could do.
Yeah, I've never played. I've played it once years ago. I didn't realize Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. There must be some sort of XP gain from just driving around, riding around everywhere. I didn't know that.
So what he's done is he's on the bike, which you can be on Pokemon. He's put like a hair tie rubber band across on like the up pad, and then he's making his bike go up a set of stairs, but then it's pushing him back because he can't go into the cave. So his character is just going back and forth. But I'm guessing from movement on a bike, you gain XP. But who gains the XP? Is it just all 6 Pokemon that's in your party?
I think, and this is, I could be way off, and if I am, please deliver your hate to the ECG for ECG Facebook page. I think there are several Pokemon that evolve in new ways, including like if you gain enough friendship with them, blah, blah, blah. I think he said he wanted a Crobat. Ellie, which of course you'll know.
Yes, I know him well. Yes.
Evolves from the Zubat line. And there must be something you need to do in order to get a Crobat from your Golbat.
Is it? I know in Pokemon Sapphire, I remember playing that. You could breed Pokemon, and then the eggs would hatch after you'd have an egg, and you'd put it in your one of your 6 Pokemon, and then after a certain amount of steps, it would hatch.
Yeah, similar thing.
Maybe it's something like that.
No, yeah, I think it's a similar thing, but in order with evolving instead. Yeah, I think anyway.
Wow.
Well,
I'm so glad I was here to witness that
Either way,
conversation.
it's riveting. I think we'll agree.
We never actually got to the end of it. We just discussed it at length.
No, that was very cool. Thank you for sending that.
So listening to 2 people who have no idea.
Make out like we do. Like, no, what it is is...
I think you'll find I'm on a gaming podcast.
It's an egg.
I'm so sorry to everyone on the... Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Blake, can you confirm exactly what all that means? Also, I just want to shout out Jordan again, who he set up, first of all, the cover photo competition. That's what he's trying to start with, that Assassin's Creed thing.
Love that, man.
So thank you for that. But also... Guy, I'm sure you want to thank him for his Final Fantasy / Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes. I'll go over this at the end of the podcast when we talk about what we're going to be playing this week. But basically, I've never touched a Final Fantasy game at all in my life, but I was given the most recent one. And I was like, I'll play it. But I asked the group, can somebody please explain to me the concept and the plot of this game, but use Brooklyn Nine-Nine as your reference point?
Oh, wow. And he did that.
He did it.
Oh, he did it.
Yeah.
And we'll go over it later on. So if you know nothing about Final Fantasy, but you do know plenty about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, then this will be a really good description of what the game is about.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Not only did he do it, he did it in like 2 minutes after I posted it.
I know, it was crazy.
Boy had it ready.
Yeah, he did. So I won't read that out, but we'll talk about that soon.
We'll talk about it later.
Also, I want to shout out a couple of conversation starters. KC Demand shared their played hours on their PlayStation, and we're encouraging other people to share how many hours they've spent on a game. So Casey has played 542 hours on The Sims, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's great.
And Dylan, he also was looking for fellow trophy hunters. So he did a post. So we really appreciate those conversation starting type things.
Yeah, so that Trophy Hunters post really threw me off because it's like you read the bio of our podcast, it's Trophy Hunter, Chris Key. He thinks he's the man at getting trophies. I've only got like 24 platinums. They had like 50, and then he was talking about a mate who had 300.
That's insane.
I am massively embarrassed.
Yeah, you're not really as much of a trophy hunter as
and
before, eh?
because of that, I'm quitting.
The
Trophy hunting, not the podcast. Don't get excited, guys.
Oh, thank God. Also, I just want to shout out Guy Mansell for starting a really thought-provoking thread last week.
This did better than I thought.
Yeah,
it actually did.
I knew
classic guy.
Chris would hate it as soon as he said
I did hate it. I loved the creativity, but I hated it.
Yeah, so basically, if you were not in the group, Guy gave us some homework. Give us the title of your favourite game, but swap a word from the title with boner. So that was
It had to be boner, didn't it?
It did, otherwise it wouldn't be funny.
That's pretty,
Boner, the word boner is funny.
It is
and And if you see it inserted
What, a
into
boner?
if you see boner inserted,
What is it boner inserted anyway? Carry on.
but Ali, give us some examples of
Well,
people.
my one was obviously Boner Become Human,
Yeah.
which I thought was quite good. You've got Grand Theft Auto Boner City.
That's good.
You've got The Boner of Us.
Was it Last of Us?
yeah.
Yeah. You got Boner of Duty, which I guess is Call of
Good.
Duty. Chris said Pokemon Boner version. Brianna said God of Boners. It's just,
See?
they're
It's
just.
funny. It's
God
funny.
of boners or boner of war? Right, okay.
Guy said Boner Simulator. Of course you did.
Yeah.
Red Dead Boners, Boner Divers 2. Yeah, the list
so
goes
good.
on.
Such top quality content.
Oh, yes. So thank you. There was like 50 comments.
Yeah, it was quite an engaging post,
Yeah.
actually. I was quite ashamed that that's sort of where we've ended up.
Well, look, Guy Mansell, he's the master of thought-provoking content.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for more this week.
Oh, yeah. And I also just want to wrap it up by thanking people for their contributions last week about the NPC moments in real life. We had a few come through before last week's podcast, but then more came through after we'd recorded it. Chris said when I worked at the drive-thru at McDonald's, very NPC,
Oh, yeah.
same thing over and over again. Cousin Bex, definitely at work, Goldsmith Workshop, when I'm trying to answer a customer's question, they interrupt halfway through and I can feel the skip option being chosen.
Oh,
that
so
kind of
true.
thing.
A goldsmith workshop.
Yeah, that's what Cousin Bex
Jewellery
does.
making.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a broken necklace. Can she fix it?
I'm just
Sorry,
picturing her.
off air chat.
Just
off
on
air
there.
chat.
I've got a broken podcast. Can she come and fix that?
Oh, no, thank you for your listener feedback. Oh, one more I'll go. Daniel said, sitting in traffic on the on-ramp and seeing someone flying down the bus lane in their car like they're in GTA because they don't want to wait. So that's another NPC moment.
Yes, very good.
But thank you for all your contributions there. So if you want to join the Facebook group, it's ECG for ECG. And our Instagram is Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast if you just want to message us. Woo. Thanks again for joining the group.
Gaming news. Gaming news. There's a bit.
Cracking yourself up there.
There's always a wee bit of silence there. I feel like I have to say it twice. All right, here is my gaming news headline for today. Power World developer has same issue as ECG. Too much money coming in. This is based on an interview that the guys from Power World, the developer of the game, and if you don't know what Power World is, it is an online multiplayer game. They kind of took a lot of influence from the world of Pokemon. You get to befriend and capture these little animals. You can then give them guns. You can butcher them and eat them. It's like R18 Pokemon, basically. Massively successful. And the issue that they are having is that too much money is coming in to the studio. They don't know what to do with it all.
Wow.
That is a first world problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's-
wow.
Like,
Yeah.
if you've seen Narcos and you know, like Pablo Escobar had so much money, he was just burying it.
And he didn't know where it was.
He kept forgetting where it was
Yeah.
and it was going rotten and rats were eating it, blah, blah. I don't think it's quite that bad, but just to give you an idea, Power World cost $6.7 million US to develop.
Holy crap, that's nothing.
That is, considering GTA 6, and rightly so, is costing $2 billion,
Yeah.
right? So that's how much it cost to develop. It was a company called Pocket Pair, founded by Takuro Mizobi in Tokyo, right? He was originally an online developer for JP Morgan, like a bank or something, and then he quit, decided to found his own gaming company, made Power World, $6.7 million US to develop. In the first month alone, 25 million players, $30 a head to get in.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that's
wow.
like 200 million.
It's at Tauranga Boys College education from Guy Mansell there for you. So that's roughly 75 million US in the first month, right? However,
Nice.
some of those were on Game Pass, so they didn't pay. But let's just split that in half and say it's $37.5 million
Already in the profit.
in the
Wow.
first month. And the issue is, he not only founded the studio Pocket Pair, he is the CEO and sole owner of the entire company.
Oh, wow.
So this dude is clocking life.
Wow.
He would have, where was he working? JC Penney or JP Morgan? or
JP
something?
Morgan, the bank.
JP Morgan. He would have quit and on his last day be like, laters, bitches, I'm starting a gaming company. There have been so many people at his branch be like, he is going to be living on the streets in a week.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And now,
And that's the thing, so boring too. Working in a bank, like just an online developer there, like
Yeah.
how boring would that be?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's created this thing, did it, maybe breached copyright a wee bit with Nintendo, maybe, but hey, they can't shut it down and it's been really successful. He's made a whole heap of money. Profits are, and I quote, too big for a studio of our size to handle. That was a direct quote from an interview. I think he had it with like Forbes magazine or something like that.
Wow.
So the big news is that Power World was so successful and so quick to rise through the gaming ranks that they don't know what to do with all the cash.
I mean, obviously they do know what to do with it, but I guess expansion can't be as quick as probably what people would like. Like they weren't anticipating the rise to be this big.
Yeah.
No.
So their timeline is now shifted massively forward, and they're like, we haven't got the resources to make the game. And that's the other thing as well, is games nowadays, if it's a huge success on launch, people love it for 2 weeks and then they get complacent and they're like, you need to make this bigger
Anytime.
With the live updates.
with
and
the
that.
live
Yeah.
updates and stuff. So if you were anticipating to have maybe 100,000 people playing over the first 6 months and then you've got millions,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
holy shit, we need to do something now.
The
Yeah.
cool thing about Pocket Pair Studios is that the CEO, the sole owner, the guy who's just printing money right now, has said he's not going to turn the studio into a AAA developer. He likes the idea of just making indie small games and trying to get onto like a niche that people will get on board with, like he did with Power World. So he's not going to sell out. He's not taking the company public or anything like that. He's sticking to his guns. And what's wrong with not taking the company public? Wolf of Wall Street over here.
No. When
Didn't
he said
approve of that.
he says, I want to. No. That the thing you said before about how he wants to stick to a niche and he doesn't want to sort of branch out. Like,
He doesn't want to go full AAA developer style,
Yeah, yeah.
Ubisoft, big
because I
open
feel
world
like
games.
he found his niche and it was people who like Pokemon, which is quite a big market.
Yeah, but you don't just hang up the old gloves after that guy. You keep
yeah.
trying, man. You keep going. So anyway, that is my first headline in gaming news. Over to Ellie now for a live update of gaming news.
I thought she said it.
Yes.
Gaming news.
There we go.
Very good.
Fans strike back. Lack of servers feel the force. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Asper, is that how I say the developer's name?
Yes.
Aspire.
Aspire.
Yeah, it's spelt funny. I'm not.
You don't know.
He acts so confident. eh?
This is the egg conversation again. Oh, yeah, no, it's Aspiri.
Thank God the name of our podcast is Extremely Casual Gamer.
So Aspire, I guess, the developer of Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, they're in hot water because they last week on the 14th of March, they released the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection again. And
That's
people were
right.
really excited about it because it was like nostalgic and all of that. It was $35 and it basically has the 2 original Star Wars Battlefront games, but it's received really bad feedback on Steam because on the day that they launched the game, people couldn't get onto servers because for the 10,000 people that were on Steam trying to play it, they only had 3 servers with 64 players available on it.
What?
Yeah.
So like no one could play it. And everyone was so mad and gutted because everyone was looking forward to it and they just hadn't put enough servers in. Then they tried to, and at the time they tried to add more servers, but it just bugged out. It was a nightmare, apparently.
Yeah.
People were really gutted. Yeah.
What is the deal with these massive developers selling people games knowing that it's going to fail?
I know.
What is that about?
I know. Did they underestimate the demand for it? But like
180 players.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's nothing, eh? And it's a Star Wars collection. Like it's a Star Wars
Yeah.
name. Like it's
Yeah.
not just a random
And it's also
game.
it's the Battlefront games. People have been talking about getting a remaster and wanting to play it for years. Like it's a huge talking point, and people finally got it. And it's why is it that when these online games launch, not a single game recently seems to be in like prepared server wise.
Yeah.
No.
Helldivers 2, very good game. But again, it was buggy for the first 2 weeks. Nobody could really get into any games because the servers weren't big enough.
But I think that one guy was them realistically going, all right, how many people are we going to get playing this game? It's going to be
Not
this
that
amount.
many,
And then all of
yeah.
a sudden it exploded because of how good it was.
yeah.
They didn't go, all right, how many are we going to have playing this game? I reckon 3 servers with
That's
64 people each
Yeah.
would do the trick. You
Yeah,
know?
it's wild, eh? So
Crazy.
the day after Aspire, they did release a statement saying, since launch, we've been working to address these issues, increase network stability, and we will continue our efforts until our network infrastructure is stabilised.
We've
to
fired
prevent-
up another laptop.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'd seen in our Facebook group that 2 people were excited for it to come
Yeah,
out. They posted
yeah.
about it. So I asked them what their experience was because I wanted to actually get like from the horse's mouth,
This
not
is
the horse's
great.
ass.
Great
you
use
know?
of it. Oh.
I wanted to see, was the headline just trying to be a bit of a shocking headline,
Yeah.
you know? So Johnny, he doesn't really dabble online much. So he actually really enjoyed just playing the games again.
The
Getting this,
campaigns are sick.
yeah, and he
They
just
are.
he liked being nostalgic. Couldn't really fault it personally. Controls were a bit janky, but they always tend to be with classic remasters of classic games. So Johnny's experience was fine because he didn't try and go online. Paul Craze Jr., he also downloaded it and he ended up playing Helldivers instead because he couldn't access. He couldn't access the servers and the bugs were extensive. So he's going to wait until they have a patch update.
And just on Paul, I'm pretty sure he lives in New Zealand, and everyone other than the guy in Utah, Chris, when we go online at peak hours, which is after dinner, it's a really bad time to be online in the US. So servers are actually empty when
Yes.
New Zealanders try to go online after dinner. So if you can't get on in New Zealand, there is a massive issue.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Johnny and Paul, for your feedback. It's
Yes.
quite nice to get some actual real world feedback as opposed to just relying on the old headlines.
Bloody good, man.
And that was your gaming news.
Hello and thank you for joining us.
No.
God, this is a funeral? We are gathered here today. Oh, wait, that's a wedding. Sorry, carry on.
So I naturally, based on the fact that I run, I'm on a gaming podcast and stuff, a lot of the pages I follow on social media are gaming related. Your gaming Bibles, INGN. And something that I've been noticing over the last few years is when you read through the comments, there is a tendency, and I'm sure you would all agree, that the gaming community can be quite toxic.
Oh, yes.
Hugely toxic.
Yes, it sure
Hugely
can.
toxic. Except for the ECG for ECG Facebook group.
I agree.
And one thing that I kept on noticing is every single time, Gaming Bible would put up recently they put up a trailer for the Rise of Ronin game, which is coming out, I believe, this week on PlayStation, right? PlayStation 5.
It's an exclusive, right?
It's an exclusive title, which is really cool. But so many comments be like, Xbox fanboys be crying right now. And it's usually that comment. But then, like, if it's an Xbox exclusive, like, oh, we're the PlayStation fanboys now. And I always see those comments. I'm like, does anybody actually give a shit about the console wars? Because the console war was a genuine thing. If you go back to like the 80s, late 80s, 90s, it was Sega versus Nintendo. That was genuinely those two companies going head to head for sales in North America, and there was like campaigns and marketing for it.
Yeah.
Whereas in the early 2000s, when we were gaming in like our teens and stuff, it was just PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 versus Xbox in terms of like your preference.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest that ever heated up. But nowadays, does anyone actually care if you are predominantly a PlayStation user? If somebody says, "Oh, I've got that on Xbox," do you care?
Oh, well, I mean, I'll let you speak on this, Ali, but just quickly, I will delete them as a friend off Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, you go.
Oh my god, you use Facebook?
Just for the group, bro.
No, well, I think back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, that was when gaming was so new as well. So these like battles between these companies were quite...
It was
kind
company
of-
battles, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like they had to battle because they were trying to claim the entire market. Now that we've kind of stabilized in 2024 and there's actually quite a few gaming consoles and everyone kind of has their own thing and they're all really good, I personally don't think that it's really a thing anymore. And I think for me, I only play PlayStation because I grew up with PlayStation.
Same here.
So I don't actually have any hate against Xbox, but if I picked a controller up, I would struggle to use it because I've never used it before. But yeah, I do think I'm elite using a PlayStation.
Hey, there you go. This is good honesty.
That's true. Like there's a little bit of judgment sometimes. I caught up with a friend recently, and I saw in his house he had an Xbox, and being a PlayStation user for the last 10 years, I was just like, oh.
Oh, why'd you do that?
I was like, oh, well,
Why'd you
interesting
choose
choice.
that?
But then if somebody said to me, Guy, do you want an Xbox? I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to play Halo and Gears of War. So I don't know
Yes.
why there was that little part of me that was just like, oh, he has an Xbox. But I love an Xbox.
Well, it's like, Guy, one of our close mutual friends, Sam.
Yeah.
The other day, I was like, oh, man, you should jump on Helldivers with me and Guy. You'll love it. He's like, I've only got a PC or an Xbox. And my brain was like, why do you have an Xbox? And that was a genuine thing, purely because nowadays with the exclusives, God of War, Last of Us, all that sort of shit, Helldivers, PlayStation's kicking Xbox's ass with exclusives.
If we go to that as well, I think one of the main reasons why console wars isn't really a term thrown around as much anymore is because if you look at the numbers, PlayStation's miles ahead.
Yeah.
Xbox is barely cracking 60 million with its like sales for its most recent console, whereas PlayStation's miles ahead. Nintendo's outselling Xbox. So if you're looking at the war between green and blue won ages ago.
So I'm also part of another community which can be very toxic, which is the car enthusiast community.
Oh yes.
So I love old cars, right?
Yeah.
And you bet your ass that I've got guys my dad's age commenting on posts on Facebook about electric vehicles. saying all sorts of shit, or commenting on like Japanese or Rotary Vet, whatever it might be, and dissing the crap out of them. My theory is, as long as we're all playing video games, as long as we're all driving old cars, that's all I give a shit about.
Yeah.
You play video games on your Sega Mega Drive, man. I'm all about that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. But for some reason, people get real weird about it.
What about console exclusives? Because that's always another thing as well. Is that like, oh, so and so, like, which has always been on, on Xbox, might be coming over to PlayStation, and the Xbox fans get pissed off. They will give us something that Sony wants, and then part of me goes, I just want everybody to be able to play.
Everybody love everybody.
Sony exclusives. Like, I want an Xbox user to be able to play Ghost of Tsushima. I don't want to gatekeep that because it's an amazing game. Same with The Last of Us and God of War. And I want to be able to play Halo on my PlayStation. Like, I don't want to have to fork out another $800.
You see, the issue there is you listed off about 4 awesome games and then said one average game in return.
Halo is a fantastic franchise that has kind of fallen off a little bit, but I want to play all the games.
And just for perspective on this, Guy and I have argued for 15 years now about whether or not Halo's good. I refuse to accept that it is. So, and that's the issue. And like, obviously, you have to look at it as a gamer. I don't care. I want everyone to be able to play it, so there's more people that I can talk to about.
Yeah,
God of War, Horizon, whatever it might be.
Yeah,
but business-wise, it can't operate like that.
No, because PlayStation doing so well with its exclusives forces the developers and under Microsoft and other companies to be better.
Yes.
Because if everybody can play all the games, then all these developers are just going to throw shit at the wall.
Yeah, competition's good.
Yeah,
competition is good.
Yeah, it's actually necessary for a healthy economy, I think.
Oh my God,
and that's
Ellie.
my business report.
There's some social studies from third form coming in.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And what's your view on industrialization?
How do sand dunes get made?
See, but one thing, just quickly on this, is the only one I understand is the PC Master Race.
And that's the other thing as well.
I get that because. So have you heard of the PC Master Race?
No, I
What a
haven't.
noob. It's funny because you used to stream on PC.
Yeah, I did. What's that, though?
So the idea of a PC Master Race, if you don't know what this is we get all jazzed up for, and I apologize to Xbox players, Switch players. We talk about Switch a bit, but mainly Xbox players. We have a good relationship with PlayStation, so we're always giving away PlayStation stuff. We wish we had Xbox stuff to give away, but we don't yet. We all play PlayStation. We get excited. We're talking about our 60 frames per second and our almost 4K. PC Master Race, the reason they're the Master Race is because their PCs can be so powerful. They have kick-ass graphics that don't make it to PS5 or PlayStation for like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So we get fired up. We got 60 frames per second and like 1080p.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had that 5 years ago, man, with a Master Race.
But they also, in order to get that, you've got to have a pretty high caliber
computer,
and it costs money.
It
costs
does.
a crap load.
Well, if we go back to our friend Sam, he's got a PC, and for as long as I've known him, he's constantly been tinkering with his PlayStation. I mean, with his PC. And he's like, I'm putting in a new processor and I'm putting in a new fan. And if that's your vibe, that's cool. But it's time consuming and it's so expensive.
It is.
It's the money.
They're bulky as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, that's the only sort of console war, and it's not even a console, it's a PC, but that's the only one I can wrap my head around. They're all like, we're superior because literally our technology is superior.
Look at you peasants fight.
Yes.
You know.
Whereas I'm like, I don't want to be sitting on a computer chair at a desk playing my games with a mouse. I
Yeah.
want to be chilling on the couch with a controller in my hand.
I know what you mean. I did a bit of PC game back a few years ago when I was doing Twitch streams, and I liked it, but there was something weird about using like the keyboard as you control
I hate that.
and your mouse and
And you can use a controller, of course. There's
You can,
PC
yeah.
people yelling about
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I get that
You
as well.
can.
But that was the only thing for me that
it's not a comfy setup, is it? It was good for streaming because I'm obviously like talking to people, but
What were
I want to
you-
be in bed.
What were you streaming?
I streamed a bit of GeoGuessr. You know, I love a bit of GeoGuessr. I know that's not technically a game, but I did do that. The Sims, I streamed a bit of. I think I streamed a bit of Life is Strange. What else did I stream?
Well, this is really interesting. We should go and find some old Ellie streams.
Yeah, I streamed Phasmophobia with my friend Britt,
Phasmophobia.
which was so scary. I played Among Us, Fall Guys. Yeah, that was kind of the era that I was streaming. Yeah, and I'm going to start streaming again, by the way. If you guys want to get a
Should
PC and
ECG
join me,
get into streaming?
yeah, I reckon I'm going to start doing it. I've got a new room that's mine, and I'm going to set up my whole office and actually set up my streaming setup again.
Right. Okay. So would we need to then do the same thing?
Yeah, probably. If you want to join
cool.
and be cool like me.
I'll just follow you on Twitch and write boner jokes in the chat.
Oh no, I'm banning
Oh,
you.
so just the huge from Guy Mansell.
Yeah, so that was it really. Console wars. If you are one of those people that is do or die, Xbox, PlayStation, by all means, hit us up on Instagram, Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast. Hit us up with a DM and tell us why.
Yeah, I want to know why you use that console. And if
Yeah.
it's just like me, where you just grew up with it, that's all you know, sweet. But are there other reasons you've chosen it? Do you hate PlayStation? Do you hate Xbox? What's the deal?
Do you not genuinely not interact with somebody once you find out that they're an Xbox user and you're a PlayStation user?
Let us know. Welcome to the ECG podcast.
We're halfway through
Segment
the podcast.
2.
You
Oh, what?
okay.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
I see what you've done.
If I could just finish my intro there. So the topic I've brought to the table today is stealth in video games. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I actually did a lot of this in Stray the other day.
Exactly. So the premise of a lot of video games is, hey, you can go through the front door, guns are blazing, or you could utilize stealth. And it's just like, I love stealth. My favorite way to play any game, especially Ghost of Tsushima or Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Crank the difficulty up to like the hardest so that you have to stealth, otherwise you'll get your ass kicked. Otherwise you end up just wiping people out and it's not even an issue, right?
Yeah, right.
I really enjoy playing games that way. It like adds a bit of jeopardy and you're
Yeah.
really sneaking around. But then I was like, you know what? No one ever stealths in real life, considering this is a like played out mechanic that is in a lot of video games. When was the last time you stealthed, Guy?
Well, I do it almost daily.
Okay, don't even worry about it. My segment is over.
No, but mine is a very specific example, and it is when I'm going to bed and I go to check on my toddler just to see if she's asleep. I know she's asleep,
Right.
and I know she's alive.
Yeah.
But being a parent, you just go in and check.
Of course, for
Yeah.
your own
So
peace of mind.
she's in there, and the white noise machine's on. I tiptoe in, and then like I just sort of lean my head over the crib to see if I can hear her breathing, and then she'll go. Parents listening will be like, I 100% relate to that, and then she'll be like. And like open her eyes, and then my stealth is impeccable because I don't run because that's
Yeah.
I'm like a ninja with my footwork, and it's not just like going back out the door. It's just slightly pinching the door frame and swinging my body around and not closing the door, but just closing it too. I'm a silent assassin at sneaking out of the room when I don't want my daughter to see me because then she'll be like, Dad.
Yeah, wow, well done.
So that's the only time I stealth and sneak.
Do you
Okay.
stealth ever, Ellie?
No, unless I see someone in public from a distance that I don't want to see, and then I just
Well, that's going to come up soon, all right?
Yeah.
So that's a good use of stealth in the everyday life.
yeah, okay.
Just out of curiosity, quickly, Guy, have you oiled the hinges on your door so that it's like silent? It's not like.
It is a silent door.
Yeah,
I've
nice.
made sure of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so you regularly practice stealth, and when you're
Yeah.
doing it, I assume you push circle, you crouch down,
Yeah.
and you stick to the shadows.
I jump in a cardboard box and shuffle along.
Metal
like
Gear Solid
Metal Gear
styles.
Solid.
Yeah, nice. And then when she wakes up, you jump up, and it's got a picture of a person printed on it.
Yeah.
She's just like, that's just a person.
She's got an exclamation mark above her head, like, "Bling."
Boom. All right, so that's good. You're running a good parenting operation
Yeah.
over there. So what I want to do is encourage people to use stealth more often
Yeah, okay.
because I want to normalize.
Hiding?
I want to
Sneaking up on
normalize
people.
And as I say this out loud for the first time, I realize how stupid it is. I want to normalize using stealth in everyday situations.
Okay, all right.
Because it should be an option. It's an option in video games. Let's stealth in real life.
Yeah.
All right. So here are 5 situations, one of which has already been ruined by Ellie.
Oh, sorry.
So we will do that first. All right. Which is you see someone in public you don't really like and you need to avoid them.
yeah.
In a video game, it's like, here are your options. You can either go through the front doors, as I said, or you can stealth around. In this particular situation, your options are blank them, which leaves you looking
Yeah.
like a bit of a
dick.
bitch
Yeah.
or a dick.
Yeah.
You can face your fears head on and engage your charisma stat and have a
Nice.
chat with them,
Yeah.
but you don't want to.
Yeah.
Or you can stealth your way around them. How would you stealth your way around that situation?
Or it depends on the layout of the
Regular
yeah.
street outside the
Okay.
old potty studio here.
Okay.
You've just hopped out of your car and you see someone, and you see someone walking up the pathway right by the door that you have to go through to get into the podcast studio.
Oh, I'd be like, oh shit, I think I've forgotten something in my car. I might just have to open that door
And you're
again.
saying this out
just-
loud, are you? Because instantly, I'm the other person. I'm thinking, okay, Ellie's clearly
Ellie's
lost
weird.
I
it.
didn't realise Ellie narrates her life.
So I might avoid her, in which case you would have beaten the scenario.
Exactly. So that's probably what I'd do is make them think I'm crazy and
Yeah.
then they won't talk to me.
Yeah.
I do the classic when I'm at the mall and I see people asking to collect money for charities. I go on my phone. I pretend to get the phone call.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, hey, Mum. Oh,
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean Dad tried to build his own helicopter?
What do you mean we've got no money left at all?
Oh, yeah. And then, yeah, that's how I would stealth away.
Yeah.
And I'd put the phone to the side of my face where the other person is to block it out.
Smart.
Like, put them out of my peripherals.
Yeah, smart.
Here's a hack, actually. If you've got AirPods
Yeah.
or similar,
Yeah.
and you go into the supermarket, because our local supermarket has always got charity people there. And by the way, we at ECG love supporting
We
charities.
do.
What about the people that try and sell games of paintball? Have you seen
Oh,
those
I
people?
hate that.
Who
That
goes to
annoys
the
me.
mall and goes, you know what, let me just pick up, some socks, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I should probably buy myself 5 rounds of paintball for
That's
myself and 6
random, eh?
rings.
Yeah,
does that?
that's crazy. I've
random.
never experienced that.
Really?
But the hack was put earpods in.
Yeah.
If you pull up at Mitre 10 and you're looking out and you're like, oh God, there's one of them charity people up there, put your earpods in, and then if anyone talks to you, just be like, sorry, man, I'm just on the phone.
Yeah, nice.
Realistically, you're actually listening to the ECG podcast
Yeah,
and
see?
liking and subscribing.
Somebody do it right now.
Yeah.
and giving us 5 stars. Okay, so that's the first scenario. Here's another one.
Okay.
Another realistic life situation, which is you are 15, 16. Your parents have said, no, you can't go to that party.
Oh.
Go to bed. So this is a situation where you can actually use stealth. So you could, if you had a high enough charisma stat, and it would have to be pretty bloody high, you march down to that lounge and you do a speech check and you get past your parents, convince them to let you go to the party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which is,
right.
you need like 95 level speech for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not happening for me.
Or you stealth your way out of there. How you doing that? Your bedroom's on the second floor of the house. They're in the lounge, which is by the front door.
Okay, in my old childhood room, it was on the second floor.
That's what I
but-
based it on.
Yeah, have you been there?
He stealthed in.
I'm actually your dad, Ellie, by the way.
My parents don't even live there anymore, you weirdo.
Yeah, I know.
No, but on the top floor, this was always my fire escape plan, but we had the trampoline down there.
Oh,
so
wow.
I would literally just go out the window, just bum shuffle down the roof, and then jump onto the tramp and just hope that it didn't break a spring or something.
And your parents are like, what was that? I swear I could have just heard someone doing a double backflip on the trampoline. Right, so that's what you do. What about
Yeah.
you, Guy?
First thing I do is put the old basketball and roll up the towels and stuff underneath the duvet so that if they ever pop their head
Oh,
in,
I
they
forgot
can
about
see.
that.
They're like, there's my
'Cause-
son with his perfectly spherical orange head. Oh, classic guy.
Old Spalding.
Oh, look at him with it.
It's so funny. Yeah, no, that chick's has got a massive
Oh,
dome.
yeah, he's got all the black lines through his head.
He gets that from his mother.
Yeah, and then I would try the window, and you know what? Knowing me at 16, I'd be like, screw it, I'm just going to stay in. Like, I would try the speech. I would do the whole,
So
can
would
I
I.
please? And I'd fail.
Same.
It'll be mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Yeah, I'd never sneak out. I never have.
So you do the
actually.
speech check, it would fail, and
would
you go
fail.
back to bed and play video games like a massive nerd.
Hell yeah, play the Warriors.
Yeah, good stuff. That's right on brand, actually, which is good. Okay, here's just a regular situation, all right? No jeopardy involved. You're going into your favourite cafe and you're getting a coffee.
Yep.
How do you implement stealth there?
Why would
Instead
I?
of you, no, I know, but we're trying to normalise using stealth in regular
Okay.
Oh,
situations.
I
so
like
it's
this.
fun.
I like this.
Ah.
So how do you normalise using stealth in this situation, all right? You want that coffee.
But you don't want anyone to see you getting the coffee. Is that
Ooh.
kind of the idea?
No, you want to be, so basically all you have to do is leave the building with a coffee having utilised stealth.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I would, hopefully it'd be busy,
Yeah.
I would be hanging around the area where they put the coffees when they're ready and they call the name. And then if somebody was like, coffee for Susan, and they put the coffee down, I look around, see if anyone pays any attention, and I'll be gone.
So you're shoplifting.
I
Oh,
shoplifting.
so you take Susan's
yeah,
coffee?
I take Susan's coffee. So I really hope that she,
Sorry, we're not
Jeez.
normalising being a dick. We're
we were just talking about how to avoid charity 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
But
carry on.
stealing a $5 coffee. Yeah, so hopefully she would have some sort of milk alternative because I don't really like normal full cream milk when it's in a coffee.
Yes, same.
So
That's
you
a
wait,
risk.
you wait for someone who's lactose intolerant to order a coffee.
Yeah, if it's got full cream and I walk back inside, I'm like, I stole this coffee, but it's not a good one.
Right.
So
okay.
I would wait for them to call a name. I wait for whoever's coffee it was to be lacking because they'll be on their phone
Yeah.
or talking to someone or they'll be in the bathroom and I would steal their coffee and go.
Right.
Nice. I would pull a tablecloth from the outside table, put it over my head, and just walk through like a ghost. I think it'll work. I think it'll
Ellie?
work, guys.
No, what you got to do is you got to go ooh as well to really sell it.
Yeah, I think
Ellie?
it'll work.
That is genius. And I see that you've clearly grasped the idea of stealth in
I
video
see on
games.
Chris's
Thanks,
phone
bro.
he wrote down white sheet, walk in.
Ghost,
Yeah.
tick, Ellie, genius. It's my favourite part of the Splinter Cell games is when you just pretended to be a ghost. All right, here's another situation where you'd have to utilise stealth. You're going around to your mate's house to pick up a hoodie that you left there, but he's got a dog in the front yard that you hate because it's a bit scary.
Okay.
Oh.
So you got to utilise stealth here. How would you do it?
Oh, dogs are too intuitive. Would I fly in via drone or is that what I do?
Okay, Ellie's
you're-
inventing
you're-
these weird rules.
You're a ghost. You can fly. You can go through walls.
No, you can't. Wait, stop inventing rules. She's typing in cheats during a segment. I've never seen this before.
Okay, I would open the gate,
Right?
lure that dog out.
Oh, you let it
Oh,
escape.
I'd let
onto the road.
I'd let the dog escape.
Oh,
And let it attack someone else. Go get my hoodie.
Right.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't like bring a piece of meat and try and distract it or anything
Who
like
has
that?
a piece of meat?
I don't know. You can do it. You're in a video.
Well, you just said she can't glide through like walls. So
She can't-
She's not allowed a drone, but I'm allowed meat.
yes. Because one
I own a drone. I don't own meat.
hang on. She said she's going to fly in with a drone.
Okay.
yeah.
That's a
I don't
little
think-
less.
Yeah, the weight.
I'd
wouldn't
get
work,
some
but-
meat under a drone
Oh, use the drone to get.
and just distract it.
Genius. Yeah.
Open the gate, lead it out into traffic.
So, just to clarify, you're trying to murder the dog. That's your main goal here.
Was that not the goal?
No,
oh, no, there's the
you're
hoodie.
getting your hoodie.
The hoodie. I thought we were killing a dog. Yeah, and then I get there, and then I'd go and get my hoodie.
Okay. Cool.
That totally checks out.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
This is almost a weird sort of character analysis on Guy right now. All right, here's the last one, and it's oddly specific.
Okay. Oh.
Okay.
You buy a Game Boy off someone on Trade Me. They then leave it in the carport at the far end of their driveway, which involves walking past the house midway through the day while his wife and 2 young kids are at home and they're crying.
Oh, so this person theoretically had to pick it up from a table while the other people were home.
So this happened to me.
Yeah.
I bought a broken Game Boy off Trade Me,
Yes.
which I'm going to fix and then maybe sell on, but probably not. And he was like, I've left it on the hook in my carport. I got to the house and the house is at the front of the section. The carport is at the back of the section. And I have to walk down a long driveway to get to the carport. And he said, let me know when you're 10 minutes away. I'll let my wife know and she can show you where it is.
Okay.
I arrive, hop out of the car. I hear 2 kids crying a lot. And I'm like, I'm not interrupting that for a broken Game Boy. So I I silently opened the gate. Guy Mansell checking on his daughter Styles.
Yeah.
Nice.
I snuck past the house, ducked down beneath the windowsill in the lounge where I noticed the kids were, and she was.
Yeah.
And then walked into the carport, got the little bag off the hook with the Game Boy in it, then snuck back, did the same, and then took off.
That's so much riskier.
Yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
Because thing is,
hang
obviously
on.
you not got away with it, but you got what you paid for and you left and you didn't interrupt the family. But on the off chance that either of those kids or the mum saw you ducking under the window,
That is creepy as.
there's a high risk.
At least I didn't murder any dogs along the way.
I didn't because that was hypothetical. You did this.
Yeah, that's
this is
right.
an actual thing that happened.
And I even texted the guy afterwards and said, hey, mate, I just sort of walked in and grabbed it. I ninja'd my way in there just because I heard kids crying and I didn't want to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And he just texts back, okay. After having previously sending decent texts like, hey, mate, thanks for wanting the, like, quite, chatty
Yeah, yeah.
texts. He just said okay after
Oh
that.
no.
This is why I'm trying to normalize stealth because...
Yeah, because now you've made it very clear that the wife and the children are not practicing good home security, and
Yeah.
now
No.
next time they could have a creepy man walk down to their back.
Well,
gate.
it's a regular man.
You utilized stealth to get it, but then you explained that you used stealth, so then he knew that you did it.
Yeah,
Because
so-
he's
You
like,
know?
oh,
It's like robbing a bank, and they're like, hey, guys, I just robbed this bank, and none of you saw it.
yeah. So is it all good or am I still weird?
I will collectively, over the next 7 days, try and utilize stealth a little bit more in my
Same.
Okay,
life.
cool.
See
Yeah.
if it spices up the old life.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, good call.
There you go. That's
Encourage anyone else listening to do the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your job, listeners.
Okay.
Normalize stealth.
Yeah. And I wouldn't kill a dog.
All right, what are we playing this week, team?
Well, as I specified earlier when we're talking about listener feedback, I will be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's the second Final Fantasy VII game. There's like a trilogy. I haven't touched a single of these games ever. They've been out since like the 80s.
Yeah, right. And wait, you're starting with a second one.
Yeah, because it got sent to me from
It's
PlayStation.
really stupid. Okay.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy VII had 3 games from like the 90s, and they've decided to remaster them. So there was Final Fantasy VII Remaster that
Yeah.
came out in 2020, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which just came out, and then I assume there'll be a third one.
Oh, gotcha.
And
okay.
just to clarify, around Final Fantasy VII, it is widely regarded as one of the greatest RPGs of all time.
Exactly.
They
Right?
really nailed it.
Yeah.
So I thought I will give this game a go because I've never touched any of them.
Yeah.
But broadened my
That's great.
horizons. Jumped
Yeah.
onto the ECG for ECG podcast Facebook group, and I said, I'm about to play this game, but I have zero clue who anyone is or what the game is about. Can somebody dumb down the storyline and with characters? Storyline and characters, but use Brooklyn Nine-Nine as a reference so I can understand it. Because I understand Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Yeah.
but I don't understand this. So Jordan, who's the MVP, he responded immediately. And this is what he said. So if you know Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you'll follow along.
Yeah.
Peralta is Cloud Strife, guided by Holt in the form of Zack Fair. His nemesis, the Vulture, comes in the form of Sephiroth. However, Amy Santiago is both Tifa and Aerith, while Rosa takes the form of Yuffie. Charles, his best friend, is named Barrett in this world. The Sergeant is Red 8, and also Kate Sith somehow. While Hitchcock and Scully are any bumbling characters you meet along the way, of which there are many. Their Halloween heist is trying to figure out what Lifestream is, what Sephiroth is doing, and how evil mega corporations such as Nutriboom are bad for the environment. Pimento is Genova.
Okay, first of all, I understood all the Brooklyn Nine-Nine references. Like,
Yeah, same, but not the other
But
ones.
if you think of the characters from Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Yeah.
and then assume that the characters that are in Final Fantasy VII have got the similar attributes, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing once you've played it, whether how accurate
I
that
have
is.
played it for about an hour and a half.
Did you
I was
hate
about
it?
to say-
When you start on the main
no.
menu, there's a recap of what happened in the recent game, like a little video.
Oh, good,
Watch that. I played it for about an hour and a half. I like it. I'm like, you know what? I'll follow along.
no, he doesn't.
I still don't know.
He doesn't like it.
Do you not understand it?
Oh, what? You don't understand the second game in the RPG trilogy? Oh, that's a real surprise.
But I just didn't realize that. I thought there's 16 games, but they're not all following the same storyline. There's
Yeah,
different main
right.
characters for different games. You can kind of just start wherever you want, but
Okay.
maybe start with the first game of that trilogy. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
watching Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, having known nothing about it.
Yeah.
Being like, I'll give this a go.
Okay,
I see.
So I'll be playing Helldivers 2 this week.
I was going to say, don't you lie to us. And the funny thing was, me and Guy played golf midweek.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I got sent Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like a code for that. And I was like, oh, we should give that away because you'll hate it.
Yeah, and you've never played one.
And then all of a sudden I see a post on our group like, hey, I've just downloaded this game. Could somebody else? Just like, just give it away.
Because as soon as Chris said you'll hate it, I was like, screw you, I'm play it. And I love it.
Yeah, I hope you do play more of it, but I know you won't.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about
I'm going to
that.
play more tonight.
Okay. All right. Chris, what are you going to play?
He's lying again.
Yeah.
I have done all the side missions. I've done all the collectibles. I am at the final part of Spider-Man 2.
Nice work.
It has taken me a long time. I am hanging out for some like a mix-up. I want to play either Elden Ring because the DLC is coming out soon, or Demon Souls, or something hard like that. And I've got to say, I was getting sick of being Spider-Man. I've been mainlining story missions. It is so good, man. I say it every freaking week. The story missions are so awesome, and what they do with the cinematics and it's just absolutely brilliant.
I want to know whereabouts you're up to without doing any spoilers. So can you just generally state whereabouts in the storyline you are for Spider-Man 2?
You know how everything wasn't all good between little Spider-Man and another guy?
Yeah.
Things are kind of all goods now
Okay.
between little man and other guy.
Nah, see, I've played the game and I don't know what he's referring
Sorry.
to.
Little guy is Stacy Peralta. Other guy. Wait, Stacy Peralta? Who the hell's that? That's the guy who invented skateboarding. It's in Lords of Dogtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So random.
What's the
Nice.
name of the guy from
Jake Peralta.
Stacy Peralta.
Sorry, that's from Lords of Dogtown. Yeah, that's a skateboarding reference just because I'm sick like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you don't got me at all.
Nah, I don't know.
What are you playing this week?
You wouldn't believe it. As I've wrapped up Stray last week, I said to you, I'm having a year off pretty much. But
Sorry,
I actually
what? I don't remember you
didn't.
saying that.
I didn't. But I was kind of like, I've done my gaming for a bit. But in the weekend, I actually pursued more Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
And I actually have been playing a lot of hours of it since.
wow,
Like I'm
cool.
actually really into it now. I've finally I've broken through that bit of kind of learning it, and now I understand
Because
it.
there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. So I'm
I'd
playing
love to
Stardew Valley.
do some sort of Stardew Valley based chat next week then.
Yeah, okay,
'Cause,
alright.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
I'll bring some chat about Stardew Valley then. What could I talk about? I don't know. I'll let you know.
No, we can brainstorm. We've got the whole week. We don't have to do it
It's a
right
bloody
now.
great point, Chris. But So we're playing Stardew Valley, and that's it.
Bloody
Because
ripper.
one game is enough for me, as we
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Even half a game is enough for me. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you've got any ideas or messages you want to send us, Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast on Instagram. Also, ECG for ECG is our Facebook group. Just search it in your little Facebook bar and you should be able to find it. Don't forget, we've got a YouTube. You can subscribe there. Yes, Chris, what was your...
Sticking
I was
his
going to
hand
say, next week, very exciting. We may have a copy of Rise of the Ronin to give away if you're on PlayStation. So worth checking in next
yeah.
week with the
Nice.
podcast, all right?
Good little tease there, mate.
Yeah.
We've got a YouTube channel if you want to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app because it really
Oh, yes.
helps.
It does.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in as per, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.